good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. You are listening to the Stiletto Talks podcast. If you all have been listening for the last couple of weeks, we have been discussing the journey of the Sisterhood to Purpose, which is an anthology project that is launched in January 2021, and we are on part 2. So today I am excited to have 3 dynamic women who are serial entrepreneurs and a part of this dynamic project. So I want to introduce them without further ado, one by one. First, we have Quinetta Latham. You could tell everyone hello.
Hello, everybody.
Awesome. Next up, we have Nadia Francois.
Hi, everyone.
And lastly, but certainly not least, we have Enola Pillard.
Good evening, everyone.
Awesome. And as always, I am your host, Paula Hutchinson, and we are about to get into some amazing conversation because when you make a decision to get in on any book project, you're opening up something usually about yourself, unless you're writing something that's fiction-based, and it still may be based on some actual events. So, started this anthology project maybe about 6 months ago, and this project was actually slated for 2019, and I just did not feel motivated at the time to do the project. But going forward into 2020 has done all that it's going to do, and I felt like it was time to this was the right time to get the project started. And so when we started the project, did not know who was going to be a part of it because it's the first anthology project that I had personally done. And when I tell you, we have dynamic women literally from the East Coast all the way to the West, just doing their thing. And I don't like to consider them unsung heroes because their communities are singing their names. They're all over the place. And I want them to, of course, talk more about what they do during this segment. But I hope that you sit back and listen and learn. If you don't have pen and paper, I suggest you do so. You may even want to bookmark this particular episode, both episodes related to the anthology project, because all the ladies have shared so far is some dynamic information that you can actually use as soon as you finish listening to the conversation. So I want to get into some information. Quinetta, so share with me where you're currently located.
I am currently in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, so you're in Nashville. And so we have all of these ladies are originally from Dubuque. For those of you who don't know what Dubuque is, that is Louisiana. So we have Louisiana girls on here. Louisiana girls on here. And so we're going to try our best to not put our accents all the way out there, but we cannot promise anything. So we're going to give that disclaimer out there early. Quinetta, I want you to share with us what you do outside of writing books and your why behind what you do.
Ooh, how much time do you have? No, honestly, so I am the founder of Divine Diva Inspiration. I am a clarity coach and a brand strategist, and I have been so blessed. I work with so many people who are still on the path to discovering their purpose. But I'm so blessed to be able to know my purpose and to be able to walk in my purpose daily. And so what I do is I strive to spark the flames, as I like to say, of clarity, personal value, and purpose in the lives of others. And I do this by way of clarity coaching. I do this with goal setting. I have clients that are celebrities, believe it or not. Some of them you see on VH1. And so I work with, celebrity clients that, I literally, take their businesses and their brands, and I'm the manager, the strategist behind that. So everything from, taking an idea or your content and taking it from content to creation. So that's kind of what I do, aside from, of course, being a mother and a wife and, working in my community and, being the Mrs. Black International Ambassador 2020. So lots of hats, but none greater than working with individuals and helping them to walk boldly in their divine destiny.
Yes, yes. I keep telling you all, if you just operate in your purpose, he will align you and connect you to some dynamite people. And Quinetta is certainly one of them. Now, Nadia and I have known each other for a long time. We probably were both howling in the choir together once upon a time. But Nadia, please share with us, of course, what you do and your why behind what you do.
Well, I am a hairstylist by trade. I also have my own hair care line, along with a new venture that I just started called What's Your Superpower TV, which is a series that focuses on females' faith and fulfillment and just God's testament of overcoming adversity and pushing through the purpose. So that's pretty much what the show is about. And my why pretty much is I raised my 4 sons for the last 14 years alone, and that has really been my driving force outside of them, just to live my dream, and that is to break curses, build wealth, build generational legacies, and just push my kids further so that they can carry on our great name.
Awesome, awesome. Again, just another phenomenal woman. And last again, but not least, Enola, please share with us who you are, what you do, and your why behind what you do.
As our first guest said, how much time do you have? My name is Enola. My name is Dr. Enola Pillard. I'm originally from Sisterhood, Louisiana, but I reside in Lafayette, Louisiana. My why have stretched from a small why to a big why. I thought my why was, just to change lives, to share my testimony, with others, hoping that they can grow. But actually, through that process, I realized that my purpose was connected to my passion. And I'm like in a season where I'm in overdrive. I waited, I sowed, I had faith, I trust God, I asked God, and He has given me the green light. So I am actually a hairstylist of 23 years. I'm a life coach. I have my doctoral in cosmetology. And as of next week, I will be a practitioner, trichologist. I'm also, as I said, a life coach. I'm a licensed cosmetology instructor. I'm a motivational speaker. And most of all, I'm an author. I never imagined to be an author. Hair was just something that I loved to do from when I was young. But like I said, my passion, I was able to tap into my purpose. So as I spoke somewhere this weekend and I shared how I was introduced to her, everything that the enemy said that I wasn't, the purpose on the road of destiny was her. And that was someone that I thought was just a hairstylist. And once I began to like her and get to know her and love her, I was introduced to her. And it was so much more to her than I knew. And I'm still getting to know her. And I'm excited to share her with you guys.
Awesome, awesome. Again, like I said, so many powerful testimonies. And if you have not guessed, all of these women are in the book project. So we're going to get into the journey of the Sisterhood to Purpose. So, Nadia, I want to ask you first, what drew you to participate in the project?
So what drew me initially, of course, I waited. I waited to the last minute, and only because I am really spiritually led in these days right now. And so I kind of prayed on it. I saw it, and I was like, oh, but I got so much going on, and so I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. But then it was just pressing on me every time I saw the advertisement. So I was like, let me see if it's too late. But the reason behind it, though, that it weighed on me so was because, first of all, you, Paula, are one of the many people that I had to look up to in the beauty industry coming up in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge. And the things that you've done in the industry and outside of the industry as well impress me. You know, they motivate me, they inspire me. And I know I've told you that before, but, you know, it's really real, you know. And so I was like, oh, Paula, you know, just for the support effect, that was like the first inkling. Like, I need to support, you know, the homegirl, the mentor, you know, just I need to be a part of that. But then I was like, well, what story am I going to tell? And so, you know, just thinking about sisterhood and journey and purpose, I just had a story that I needed to tell about my journey in the beauty industry. And I felt that this was the right fit for it. So initially it was just, you know, I want to support Paula. I want to, you know, be in the Homegirls anthology. But once I really tapped into it and prayed about it, it was like, you really have something to say in here, you know? So that's why.
Awesome. Well, we are so glad that you certainly you were the last one to get on the project, like you left. But you are certainly not the least. I have, of course, read your submission and just wow, just you know, just I cannot wait for people to see all of the submissions. But for someone who came on the project last, what you submitted was just. It's a woo moment. I can't wait for people to see it. Now, Quinetta, I want to find out from you. Of course, I've known you for quite some time as well, but you are a mover, a shaker. You move in the business sector, you move in your personal sector, and then you move in the celebrity space. So what drew you to participate in the project?
For me, it was honestly, there were just some things that I wanted to do, that I had set out to do in 2020 that time didn't allow for me to do on my own. One of those things was I wanted to, put out a book or a devotional or a journal of some sort. And, you know, my accountability coach just kept saying, I don't see how that's going to happen with everything that you're trying to do, you know, personally, and then with everything that you have to do with your clients. I think that we need to table that. And then, I saw the opportunity, and I thought this is an amazing way to make a connection with women. And then I looked at it from, I wanted to do it for the connection, but then I wanted to do it for the culture. I think that we don't talk enough about sisterhood, let alone coupling sisterhood with purpose. I don't think that there are enough books out there with several different women's, Black women faces on it from, different walks of life. And so I wanted to be a part of it because of the connection, because of the culture, and then because, of who you are. I knew that if you were putting it out, I knew that it was going to be done professionally. I knew that this was not going to be your name is in the book, your story is in the book, and that's that. I knew that there had to be additional opportunities attached to it, i.e. the podcast, i.e., trainings and different, other things that, you'll be offering or extending to us as well. So, connection, culture, and then, of course, everything else that comes along with that. I felt that it was important for me to be a part of this.
Awesome. I the last time we had this first part one, and people would say things about me, it's weird because it's hard to take a compliment. I think sometimes you're so busy just putting your head to the plow and just moving forward that I had no idea that you all felt that way about me. So I thank you all for even just putting me in there as a part of the why. But what you all are doing is just so phenomenal. And you all certainly have stories that need to be shared. And what you talked about, Quinetta, that we learn by sharing our stories. And then just for the culture, I do agree. And we all were talking before we started actual recording is that, we have to learn how to respect the sisterhood. There is something going on where we do not always respect the sisterhood. And I think that in our culture, we have gotten away from sharing our stories. We learn by sharing our stories. And so by you all sharing, you're going to help someone. You're going to help save someone's life. And I hope that you all don't take that lightly because in today's time with all that's going on, and will continue to go on, because as sure as we live, something is going to always be going on, good, bad, or indifferent. It's important that we share our stories for our culture so that we can move on as women, just as sisters, because we're walking this journey together, whether you agree with one another or not. All the time, we are walking together, and all eyes are on us right now, especially as we have a woman taking position in the White House in a leadership role and not as a supporting role. This is certainly a time where all eyes are on us, and I certainly appreciate you all for this particular moment in time. Now, Enola, I want to ask you, what drew you to the project?
Well, what drew me to the project was, first of all, that something as such exists. As you shared with what's going on in this world, and to know that there is something that's put out there to be a beacon of light. And also, even on reality TV, it's always showing where women cannot be in the same room together without somebody arguing or bickering or whispering on one another, or there's drama. And to have such a project that can be the opposite of what's portrayed as women getting together, and even not even just Black women together. When you look at the reality show, that's what you see, discard. You see a disconnect. And this is a project that definitely will represent what sisterhood looks like. And I believe that it's something that's so attractive that those that even had that mindset, it will shift their mindset, because we will be an example of what it's like when sisters join together. The power, the anointing destroys the yoke off the top. So the anointing, the power, the love, the care, the connect, to be able to join together and be our sister's keeper. And that was definitely for sure. And I agree with her. Anything your name is connected to for years, anything your name is connected to, I want to be a part of. Even if I'm not a part, just to show support, because there's so many women. I know the woman that I am today, when I ask God help me, God show me, I know that He allowed me to meet Miss Paula, and she was a part of my answer. So even if I'm not a part of something, if I can just show support, I would love to be there, because anything she gives, I'm leaving with some nuggets, and I'm introduced to a better me.
Oh, awesome. I'm just so excited to have you all on the project. I've read your stories. My husband's like, what are you reading? You just crying and crying and crying. I said, because I know these women. And I know these women, and I'm telling you, and I'm telling people that are listening to this podcast, you see people in their glory, but you have no idea their story. You want what they have, but you don't know what has crushed them to produce the oil that you see. You have not even a clue. We have had women. All I'm going to say is definitely get the project and read it. And you're going to be surprised that these women are still standing, that they're not hateful, that they have love in their heart, that they have a willingness to share and to even draw back in that place, because for some of them, they're remembering very hard times in their lives where they made a decision that, you know what, this is not going to change me, but this is a pivot. And even in time right now, we are in a pivot point. You are either going to pivot or you're going to switch and turn back around into something that you probably cannot bring yourself back out of. So long before we had the global pandemic of what we have right now, and it hasn't just brought death, but it has brought up so much negativity. We had a lot of negativity going on that was also a pandemic. And that pandemic is just hate. And we forgot about love altogether. And so I believe that each story that you're going to hear, while they have gone through all the things that they've gone through and triumphed over, what you're going to see is love and how love wins. And if you operate in greatness and you operate in love and integrity, God will align you with everything and everyone that you need to be with that's connected to your purpose on this journey. Thus is what we are today, connected on this journey together. This project would not be just a project worth sharing if it was just me and sharing my personal story. This project is dynamic and will save lives because of all the women that chose to share their truth. So to that, I want to find out, Nadia, I'm going to you go first. What is the one thing that you want people to learn from your chapter?
The one thing I want people to learn from my chapter is that you can overcome anything, plain and simple. Can overcome anything through faith, prayer, supplication, and also submission, because a lot of times we as women, we carry so much weight from outside forces and outside situations, meaning outside of ourselves. You know, that may be the kids, that may be the husband, that may be the job, whatever, we're going through. We are the caretakers, so we just tend to nurture and, try to protect everyone else, but we're just out there in the wilderness, whether it's mentally, physically, financially, we just give until we're empty, and you can't really pour from an empty vessel. So, that's where the faith and the prayer and the supplication comes in, so that we can be whole. We can, make those major moves, such as the moves in government and the moves in leadership that we are making right now. So just knowing that we can overcome anything, and you just don't give up.
Yes, that is really that's heavy. And I'm finding myself kind of tongue-tied today and a loss for words, because it's just through it all, because we're in December now. And you're learning that what you thought was going to break you, you have overcome. We all have. We've made it. We've made it to this point, and that you can overcome anything. And like you said, not just by faith, prayer, and supplication, but also by submission. We have to be able to submit and put that thing on the altar, put that thing out there, and actually own it so we can heal from it. And so that's really important. Now, we got the clarity coach coming up, so I want to find out from you, clarity coach, because I'm sure you deal with those that don't always want that clarity. So I know that while they probably pay you a lot of money for that, I know that sometimes it's probably a struggle for people to see themselves, to really work on the in. It's one thing to work on your outside, but it's something else to work from the inside out, because that's actually addressing trauma, addressing hurt, addressing regret. A lot of things that a lot of us are taught in our culture to just move on. You don't deal with it, you just move on. So as a clarity coach, and I know that I'm sure you came from all points, all that you are as a serial entrepreneur, but I'm sure as more of a coach, what do you feel like is the one thing you want us to learn from your chapter?
Oh man, my chapter really, and you were spot on, and speaking from a stance of, knowing who you are, working on yourself on the inside and on the outside. And so I think my biggest takeaway, or the biggest thing that I want people to remember after reading my chapter in the book, is who they are. Know who you are. Know whose you are. A lot of people struggle with, understanding who they are. A lot of people struggle with living life authentically. A lot of people struggle with living life unapologetically. A lot of people struggle with, who is the woman in the mirror, and a lot of those struggles come from us not addressing issues, us not remembering, God's promises that he has said that we deserve, that we can have. Jesus came that we might have life, but not just life, that we might have life abundantly, and so a lot of times we forget what God has promised us. We feel that we're not worthy because we've allowed people to paint a picture of who they think that we are. We've allowed them to tell us who we should be. And so when you've heard no all of your life, when you've seen people turn their back on you and walk away from you, it really starts to affect who you are. But I talk a lot about, just walking through my journey of discovery of myself. And I tell people you can be the best at whatever it is that you do. But until you are the best at being you, you're really not your best self.
That's a word right there. Look, I'm ready to get this out, because this is the right group for this conversation, because it is, and it's something. And I tell people all the time, like, oh, Paula, you're so strong. I said, you have no idea how many nights I lay in the bed and wonder, like, how am I going to get something done? Because when you are in a leadership position, what you say, what you do, especially when you have influence over people, your words cause them to move and act. You have to make sure that when you pull the trigger on that and you make that statement, and you know that people believe what you say. And when we see people, how they operate now and being so irresponsible with words, you have to think about, is that a life that you want to live? Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. So whatever you say, and whatever you call to be, can you handle that? Not if it just happened to you, but if it falls on somebody else. And so I tell people all the time, you have no idea. Sometimes heavy is the head that wears the crown, or that mantle that you've been placed on you. Because when you have that mantle on you, it is very difficult sometimes to deal with, because it's often a lonely road, because people don't see what you see. So it can be really difficult. You tell them it's going to rain. They're like, oh, but the sun is out. So it's hard. And so, like you said, if you don't learn how to be okay with you and discover who you are today, everybody want to paint you a picture of who they thought you were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I knew her in high school. I knew her in kindergarten, all this other kind of stuff. They don't know themselves, so you have to think about who you are. And when you do that, you're truly free from people, and you can operate in your authority and purpose that God has ordained for you. Enola,
absolutely.
I know you coming on with it. I know Enola probably about to come out of her seat, because I know her. I know she's about to come out of her seat. Enola, share with us, what are some things one thing that you feel like you want us to learn from your chapter?
Girl, what I want women or people in general to take away from my chapter is that you are not alone. Behind the cute hair and those stilettos and and that walk and that jazz. Oh, it's been some pain, it's been some tests, some trials, some struggles, some sleepless nights. But what I want them to take away is what consistency looks like, what determination looks like, what against all odds, what does that look like? When you are even in the midst, that's why I go into great detail. I felt in my spirit that it was very important to go into detail, because you have to draw a picture. Some people, they only will believe by seeing. And that's why I went into drastic detail, just being open and unashamed was who is the real Enola? Why you see me. I've had someone to ask me, did you have to write all of those books? That wasn't me. That was God. That was God. God said, now springs forth a new thing. My time was now. I couldn't wait till man said it was time. God said that it was time. So that's what I want that women or people in general to walk away with, to see what consistency looks like, what determination looks like, what perseverance looks like, what long suffering looks like, what it looks like to actually walk in the fruit of the Spirit. That's what I wanted the people to walk away with. This ain't nobody else's story. I can't tell nobody else's story but mine. And I hope that someone is inspired, that they're motivated, and they're ready to take their next step. They're ready to take their next leap of faith, to walk by faith, not by what they see. So that's my take. I know I can go on and on, but I'm going to stop right there. I think y'all convinced.
like I say, got the Louisiana girls on here, so not only are we long-winded, but we're long-suffering, and I don't think people realize sometimes when you're constantly told no. And I know that this has been shared during this segment, but when you're constantly told no and what you can't be and what you can't do, and you don't look a certain way and you don't walk a certain way and you don't talk a certain way and all the what you can't do, when you finally operate in the anointing and in your gifting and your purpose, first of all, it's a lonely walk. But on the other side of it, is definitely you will find your tribe. So if you just keep walking, you're going to get over here on the other side over here with us, so I definitely want you to be encouraged. And if you've seen any type of advertisements on social media and so forth or on our website, on the StilettoTalks.com website, you're going to see that it's constantly being stated that we will save lives. I know from a person who has struggled with depression, who has needed coaching, I still have a coach and a therapist, so I'm a person that believes in protecting your mental health. I can function at a high level because I work on my mental health. I've learned how to say no, respectfully decline. We talked about that before we started recording today, and I'm very matter of fact about it. And if you're mad, I'm okay with that, and it's not from a place that, you're just going to be mad and all this kind of stuff. I don't have to post anything about that. I'm going to truly protect my peace. I'm looking out for myself because I can't be all that God has called me to be if I'm constantly concerned and worried about things that don't concern me. And so to that, this book is going to save someone's life. I've been at a low point. We all have. And I know that these stories, the places, and again, for some of some of these ladies. So for some of this, it's going to be like, what? But I'm telling you, my prayer is in particular for anyone that touches these books is that you realize that when you see people, learn to show grace because you don't know what they've been through. You don't know where their mind is today. You don't know what they lost in their losing season for you to see them now in their winning season. And it might be a meme, but I hope you see when you read the book that you see that it's really, some people have been through some really dark places. Also, those who just learned discovery. You've heard a lot about discovery. Everything isn't always so downtrodden, but sometimes it's just about learning who you really are. And we've had 12 months to learn who we really are during this time. This seclusion season should have been just a little more reflective and so than we normally would be otherwise. And so you have to learn how to quiet yourself, get still, and listen what is really being said to you and what you really need to do. And if it keeps you up at night, it's something that it's worth doing, and so keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And these ladies are inspiring. We were talking each other up before we even started recording because we all have had several meetings today. We're all tired. We're all women of faith. We have to pray. We got to fast. We got to take care of kids. We have significant others. We have spouses. We have friends. We got family. We're all these things to everybody. So just know that everybody's coming from an authentic place because they're living life with you. So I certainly hope that you enjoy the journey of the sisterhood to purpose. Now, I want to make sure that once you read their stories, that you can connect with these women directly as well. So, Nadia, how can we find you all through 2021 and beyond?
All through 2020 and beyond, I can be found right at www.nadiafrancois.com. That is www.nadiafrancois.com. That is my personal website. There are links to all of my business ventures and my social media right there. So I'll just leave it there.
Awesome. Enola, where can we find you?
You can find me at AshantiEnterprises.com. Everything with hair, coaching, my new businesses that's coming up in January 2021. You can find anything you would want to know about me, any booking, any questions you may have, you can contact me that way through AshantiEnterprises.com.
All right, Quinetta, where can we find you?
I am Quinetta Latham on all social media platforms. Follow me on Instagram. Be my friend on Facebook. I am also in Clubhouse at Quinetta Latham. And then you can also reach me or find out more about me, my services, projects, all that good stuff at QuinettaLatham.com.
Awesome. And as always, you can check out all things me, your host, Paula Hutchinson, at thestilettotalks.com. Also, you can find me on Linktree under P. Hutch Motivate. So if you're looking for some other services, as well as all of my websites and ventures. And then I'm also in Clubhouse as well under P. Hutch Motivate. But otherwise, definitely check out www.thestilettotalks.com. And then I want to thank you, ladies, for coming on today, sharing with everyone, for inspiring everyone. Want you to know I love you much. I appreciate all of your kind words. And again, I feel so blessed and honored to be able to be on this journey with you all as we get prepared to launch this project, which is coming on January 2021.
Thank you, Paula, again, for always being such a visionary, for, aligning your purpose with God's will. So we thank you and wish the Stiletto Talks absolute continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. If you like what you've heard today, everyone, I'm telling you how to find us. So if you are on iTunes, Google Play, Audible, Spotify, definitely look us up under the Stiletto Talks podcast, and there you will find us. Definitely take a look at all of the episodes, download them, share them with someone else that needs it. And we thank you for always supporting the Stiletto Talks podcast. We do this for our community. We do this for the love. And we thank you all so much for being a part of the podcast and listening and sharing with us. Take care.